So what do you do when it's raining outside and the weather is just not cooperating? Well, you test out your new bike stand, of course. Today I'm going to be reviewing this heavy-duty bike stand, which is made by a company called Osluken. Boy, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of that. But the product, I believe, is only offered on Amazon. I'll give you guys the link in the description if you are interested in this one. But who knows, after I review it and try it with my e-bike, maybe you won't be interested in it. Not sure yet. This will be the first time I've tried it. Really easy to set up out of the box. I mean, you just extend it and you just put the clamp on. The clamp just slides into that cylinder right there and you clamp it into there. And that'll be really important, you know, as with any of these kind of clamp down stands, to make sure that your clamps are tight, especially one like this that supports supposedly 176 pounds. I'm a bit skeptical on that, but all I really need it for is my e-bike. And my e-bike is an Aventon Adventure 3, which is around, I believe, 79 pounds with the battery. So I'm gonna test it with the battery. I'm not gonna remove the battery. Gonna put this bike on the stand and we'll see if it works. One of the challenges I'm gonna have with this stand is figuring out where the center of gravity lies. That way we can keep the bike nicely balanced and it won't be too much of a strain on the stand. So you see my bike has this top bar. I have a step over. That's because I'm big and heavy. So the step over should give me a good place to clamp on, that bar right there. And I should be able to find the center of gravity, probably just by lifting it with my hand, and then I can feel where it's balanced. And then I can put that onto the clamp properly. So the trick is to get it up on the clamp. So one of the things I want to do is kind of get this lowered down to a point where I believe it'll hold the bike up just a few inches maybe. We'll try that first, see what we get. So we loosen the clamp here. I'm going to drop it, I'm going to eyeball it where I see the bike. And I should also adjust the angle, which I'll show you here in a minute. I want to adjust this angle so that it matches kind of with the angle of the bike, the frame on top. So let's see, this should just turn, all right. Now I'm looking at it, the bike is going to go up a little bit like so, and that's probably the angle I want. Then you just clamp it back down. And there we go. So you'll see here that the clamp actually has a lever here that'll give you your ability to tighten it down really nicely onto something, whether that's your frame or your seat post. And you can also unscrew like this to open it up wider. I'm thinking with this bike, that'll probably be okay for now. You kind of have to eyeball it a little bit and let's see what happens. Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna leave the kickstand on the bike for now. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but let's see. Now, if I raise the bike with one hand, I can get a feeling for the balance, and it tends to want to be back heavy until about right here. Yep, that's about right. So I want to put the clamp in this spot right here, and that should give me a nice center of gravity. Now this bike weighs a lot, so it says 80 pounds. I'm thinking it's a ton, but let's see. Oh, Okay. And then you pull the clamp down, and let's see what we get. It's a little too tight. So you see I'm trying to pull this clamp down to hold it down tight, but I need to loosen it. So let's take it off. Don't try to do it while you're lifting the bike because it weighs so much. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen it up, unscrew it. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. And we're gonna try it again. Okay, here we go. And that's about the approximate point of the center of gravity. We're gonna clamp her down. Hey, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good estimate of where it should be. Now, definitely do not put any more weight on this with your hands. Don't push down on it or anything like that. Just let it hang on its own volition here, its own weight. All right, well, that seems to be holding pretty good. So this cylinder back here is tight. If you had this too loose, then this would twist and your front wheel would probably come down and touch the ground, or your back wheel would come down and touch the ground. That would be really important if you put it on your seat post here, because if you put it on your seat post, the bike's probably gonna be front heavy. So then you're gonna have to make sure that this is super tight and that you twist this to the angle that'll keep your bike up in the air so that both wheels are off the ground. Well, so far so good. So one thing I'm wondering about this stand is, how would you easily, or I should say more easily, get this bike further up off the ground if you wanted to work on it at a higher level? I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna try something. So I'm going to loosen this clamp here, which is already at the bottom anyways, I believe. Right, so there's that. I'll put some strength on it and lift it. And then clamp it back down. Let's see how this holds. Well, so far so good. But I tell you, that takes a lot of strength. So now that the bike's off the ground, one of the things I wanted to do with this bike is take a really good look at these brake rotors. These rotors right here, they make a lot of noise. And I'm thinking that maybe they just need a good cleaning, Maybe it just needs a good cleaning with some alcohol. I can clean that up, and then hopefully that can solve the problem for me. If not, I may have to take this caliper off, sand down the pads, clean them up really good. But like with anything, you always start with the easy fix first, just to see if that works, and then later on you can try the more difficult fix. But for today's review of the stand, I really just want to show if this stand will hold the bike up while I'm doing some work on it. So this is what I'll be using to clean the rotors on my bike. It's a 70% isopropyl alcohol. And mainly that's because that's what I have as far as a good solvent goes, and it's readily available. Most of you should have this type of a solvent in your house. Everybody has alcohol. It's great for wound care, great for cleaning, and it's really good for removing oil and grime off your brake rotors on your bike. Okay, so I saturated a cloth with the alcohol, and I'm just gonna take that alcohol and clean the disc, doing my best not to put weight onto the bike as I do this. We don't want to add extra weight. And just turn the wheel. In fact, it might even be easier just to do it like this, but nah, I think it's better just to turn it and then wipe it. Probably have better results. Now right now I'm doing the outside of the rotor. And doing the inside of the rotor will be a little more interesting, but I don't see why that can't be done without taking everything apart. So right now I believe I got the whole thing. Oh yeah, look at that. See, you can see there's a lot of grime on there, maybe oil from the road. I'm going to turn the rag over on a cleaner side, and then I'm going to put some more of the alcohol on that, and then start to do the backside. Yeah, the backside's no problem. You can do the backside, no problem at all. It's very important to do the back because with disc brakes, the caliper has pads on both sides of the disc, and then those two sides are pushed together with hydraulic force or mechanical force, depending on what kind of brakes you have. But the functionality in that respect is the same. The two pads press together against this disc, or rotor they call it, and then that rotor will cause enough friction with those pads that your bike will come to a stop. And it should do it nicely and quietly. And that's my goal today. I want my bike to stop nice and quiet. Well, the important part, do I recommend this stand from Osluken from Amazon? I give it a thumbs up. And the main reason why is because this is a very heavy e-bike, 80 pounds. You can't find a lot of high quality bike stands that'll hold this kind of weight without spending a fortune. There are some big name brand American companies that will make stands that'll do that, but they're mainly for bike shops. And they'll have mechanical lifts or hydraulic lifts. And they're built to hold the real heavy weight, but at a high cost. And for someone like myself who just rides a bike just to have fun and be a hobby and to explore, if I'm going to be working on my bike once in a while, doing things like lubing the chain or checking out the brakes, mounting wheels, putting like a new inner tube in the tire, things like that, this stand is perfect for that. So I'm really happy with it. Everything seemed very intuitive. The clamps are intuitive. It's all made out of metal. So I love that the clamp right here is metal. A lot of brands out there, this part right here is plastic, which that actually would be okay for your lighter bikes. If you have a bike that's 40 pounds or less, plastic is fine. But when you have a bike that's 80 pounds, you want to make sure that this whole cylinder right here is all steel or a solid aluminum, some type of strong metal that will be able to satisfy that weight requirement. So yeah, I give this stand a thumbs up. I think if you have an e-bike that's heavy and you want to be able to work on it yourself, this is the way to go. There are other options out there. You could just flip your bike upside down. That's hard to do with a big heavy bike like this. I've tried it and it'll suffice, but it's very awkward. And you need to get something underneath these handlebars to prop that up. And there are products out there for that as well, where you can strap them onto your handlebars like a little tripod and you flip your bike over. But again, it's an 80-pound bike, so flipping it over is a bit of a hassle, especially if you have arms like me, right? I'm not going to be able to lift this bike very well. It was awkward for me. I'm 6'5", 230 pounds, and I consider myself decently strong, and it was still very awkward. So keep that in mind. A stand like this, I was able to lift it up into the stand just a few inches off the ground. That wasn't too difficult. And then once it was in the stand being held by this clamp, then I was able to get my legs behind it, unhook or unlatch that clamp in the back, lift it up even more, get a few more inches off the ground. And that'll be good if you have, like a little stool you can sit on, or if you want to lay on the ground and work on it or whatever. Anything like that should be fine. As long as you can get access to what you need to get access to, this should be great. Okay, well, this concludes the review for the Osluken heavy duty bike stand. It's rated at 176 pounds capacity. It holds my 80-pound Aventon Adventure 3 just fine. That's all I really need it for. I don't know about whether it can hold 176 pounds, but hey, 80 pounds is probably what a lot of you have when it comes to e-bikes. Many e-bikes are in the 50 to 60 pound range, so this bike is a little extra heavy because it's a fat tire e-bike from Aventon. And the Aventon Fat Tire Adventure 3 is just a great SUV style of e-bike. What I mean by that is it'll do everything. You can go off-road with it, ride it on-road. It has suspension on the front. It has a suspension seat. And for people like me who are 6'5" and 230 pounds, it will hold your weight. And that's important. That's why I got it. Not too many bikes have a rated weight capacity that will satisfy my needs. So this one worked really well for me and works really well for me. It's a very fun bike to ride, very capable. And back to the stand, the Osluken heavy duty bike stand does the job. This concludes the review. Thanks for watching, everybody.